Hey guys, it's Jason. It's like 4:15 in the morning. Having some problems sleeping. Uh, Thought I'd talk about it a little bit. Um, you probably don't know this. I don't think I've said anything anywhere about it, but my grandmother was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer several months ago, and she's been going through chemotherapy. And for the most part, she was doing really, really well. Um, she was responding really well to the treatment, to the chemotherapy, and things were going really well. I was really worried, and I remained worried. Obviously, when you hear cancer, you get really kind of paranoid and scared, I guess, and I felt that way. But my grandma had a great attitude about it, and she was just like, "I'm going to beat this. I'm going to get through it." But last week, she started having some problems breathing, and so they called the doctor and whatnot, and they did a chest X-ray and some stuff, and they thought that she had a fungal infection in her lungs, and that was what was causing her problems to breathe. And they said she needed to go see a pulmonologist to, take a look at that and see what was going on. At first, when I heard she was having problems breathing, I got really nervous, and I thought maybe it had something to do with cancer. But then when I found out that it was a fungal infection, it was kind of a relief at first, because I thought, okay, at least it's not cancer. But then I found out later that a fungal infection can be pretty bad, because it can take a really long time to get over it, and they can't do the chemotherapy while they're fighting the infection, the fungal infection. So that was a little worrying. That was, I don't remember, like Wednesday of last week, I think. Thursday, maybe, of last week. But they were going to talk to the doctor, and they couldn't get in to see the doctor until Friday, which will be today, of this week. That was the schedule that they were told. I spoke to my grandmother over the weekend, and she sounded horrible. Just talking to her sounded like she was out of breath, like she was been running miles. She had gotten considerably worse in a couple of days, and they were able to get her into the hospital on Monday. They took her to the hospital, which is about an hour from the house, and they were expected to stay overnight. They were going to do a biopsy and some other things. She is still in the hospital, and it's now Friday morning. They're awaiting some other test results and whatnot, because now they're not sure if it's a fungal infection. She might have pneumonia, or it might be cancer related. So we're waiting to hear about that and to see what's going on with that. So I'm a little bit nervous and a little upset. I think that I'm having some problems with that. I don't have a very big family, as you know, as I've talked about. So I'm very worried about the family that I do have. But what this video is really about is less about my grandmother being sick as it is about my family. My family has this bad habit, I guess, of not communicating well with each other. Admittedly, I live very far away from everybody else, and I'm a little out of the loop. I'm probably not the best person on staying in contact, picking up the phone and calling people and whatnot. But it seems like I find out everything after the fact. I find out when someone's been sick or ill after something's happened, or I find out, or I don't find out at all until a lot later. The other thing is, my family has a habit of being, I guess, overly self-reliant on themselves and not accepting help from other people, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to be 40 years old, and my family now still doesn't, I guess, seem to think that my help is all that necessary on most of anything. People call me for advice in my family, and it seems like they never take it. In this particular situation, I feel like I need to be there with my grandmother, but for whatever reason, they don't want me there right now. They think that I'm too much of a burden. And it's strange. I want to go there to help, and instead I end up becoming a burden. At least that's the way my family had put it out there. So I don't know. It makes me just feel like no matter how old I am or what I do in my life, I'll never be on a level where my family will be able to accept my abilities as anything other than the grandson or the child, I guess. So I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to deal with that. Um, I've talked to Regina about it. I've tried talking to my family about it. It just doesn't really seem to change anything. It just seems like people are still gonna perceive me as the grandson and not take my word for things, I guess. I mean, this goes back years. I can think of many instances where I've given my opinions, my professional opinions on things, as well as my personal opinion on things. Only to find out later on that, hey, guess what? I was right about that, whatever that was. So, tell me about your family, guys. I mean, do you guys have situations like this where your family just doesn't accept you as an adult or as a viable source of information or abilities? Does your family treat you like a kid still, even if you're an adult? Does your family feel like you're unable to take care of yourself and they have to take care of you for you? Let me know what you think about that. I know this is a little bit heavier. Like I said, this is just something that's been on my mind all night, and I haven't been able to let it go, and I just want to talk about it a little bit, put it out there, and see what you guys had to think about it. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me comments, as always, down below about what your thoughts are, and talk to you guys again real soon. Regina, I love you. Samantha, we miss you. I hope it's good where you guys are. Bye.